Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Fred Birnbaum, Idaho Freedom Foundation. I have a bit of a cold, so I'll be a little rough, but I'm not here to sing, so that shouldn't matter.
That's a good point. Yeah, thank you.
I'm here in support of House Bill 409, and there is a lot of complexity to property taxes, and I think that's why I would want to start by saying it's important to have a freeze. Here we are, it's past Groundhog Day, and this is a complex issue. And the value of having a freeze is that it brings people to the table. And simply stated, property taxes are increasing at an unsustainable rate. I just don't want to make that as an assertion. I want to back it up. The last major freeze of this significance was in '79. Representative Moyle referred to that. In 1979, statewide property taxes were $204 million. Today, they're $2.035 billion. That's a 5.9% compound average growth rate for 40 years. Now, let's just say they'd grown at 4.9, which sure sounds like a lot. That's closer to personal income growth is typically, now that we're robust, 4 to 5. Property taxes would be about 600 million lower, and we wouldn't be here. So the overarching point I'm making is we are on an unsustainable trajectory. And it actually gets worse. The last couple of years, 17 to 18, the increase was 6.4%. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the totality of the tax take statewide. So the 6.4 is the growth from 17 to 18, and 18 to 19 is 6.5. That gets you to the $2 billion. If we keep growing at this rate in 3 years, and that is a rate that's about 6.5%, Idahoans' pockets will be emptied of an additional $400 million. This is not sustainable. We need to hit the pause button. I would never say to this committee or anyone in the audience that a one-year freeze is a solution. It is designed to bring people to the table. The reason we need to hit the pause button, and you'll hear plenty of testimony, is that people cannot sustain the increases that they're getting, and the 6% is an average, when their incomes are going up 2 or 3%. So, just to keep moving here, I want to dispel some myths. During the downturn, the legislature actually cut general fund spending. Number I got was 19% from '09 to 11. Property taxes never went down. They still increased, albeit smaller. Local units of government get revenue sharing from sales taxes and other distributions. Those are growing very rapidly too. 6%, over 6%, that's 17 to 22 projection. Well, another point, won't raising the sales tax with the local option sales tax provide relief? Well, back in 2006, the 3 mil levy for schools was removed and the sales tax went from 5 to 6%. What happened? Property taxes dropped 11.4% in tax year '06, but went up 10.9 in '07, 8% in '08, no sustained relief. I have data for all the counties. I can answer questions about what the 2-year run rate is from any county. Ada, so this is the totality of all the taxing districts in each county. Obviously, there's 967. I can't go through those. But the totality of Ada, 18.2%. Bonner, 13.7. Bonneville, 21.3. Gem, they're actually down 2.9. They're the lowest. Gooding up 22. It's all over the place. The current formula is clearly over-rewarding some counties and penalizing others. A one-year freeze is sustainable because these local units of government have reserves. Representative Moyle alluded earlier to the fact that if you just raise the homeowner's exemption, it's just a shift. Property taxes need to be understood in really about 3 numbers. The budget to be levied divided by market value equals levy rate. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way to get around a central, essential point. That top number, the numerator, the budget to be levied, if you do not restrict that, you will never lower property taxes. You will only shift them. You can't get away from that math. I do want to put some flesh on this, and I'll wrap up. If you freeze budgets, remember this bill says in 2020 you cannot take more than you took in 2019. Market values are increasing. In Ada County, they went up 19.9%. That means numerator flat, denominator up 20, levy rates go down. It's a reset, ladies and gentlemen. How much relief an individual gets is dependent upon how much their actual home assessment changes and the overall market value in their taxing district. That's the reason why it's very difficult to answer the question, how much relief? I took my own tax bill, I froze everything but schools, and for me, I would get a 2.3% reduction. But you have to think about that compared to, say, a 10 or 15% increase. It's substantial relief. Obviously, the greater the market value growth, the greater the relief you would get, all other things being equal. So this is a necessary first step to reset the formula. Thank you, and I'll stand for any questions.